Brian not here from NYCHA. But we want to make sure that we hear your concerns. And we want to make sure that the city, the state, and the federal government understands that the needs that you have, the capital needs that you have, are real and critical, right? So when you have roof work to be done, it doesn't matter if you patch up the apartments, right? The mold will come back. If you have brickwork pointing to be done, the mold and the chip on the paint will happen, and the leaky pipes will again leak. If you have those conditions in the envelope of the building, right? Okay. And then for seniors, there's nothing worse than an elevator going down. That's right. And I want to introduce my two friends. Councilman Eric Dinowitz, who's here from Uptown and from the Bronx. And of course, we all know Assemblyman Al Taylor from Harlem. So there's nothing worse for a senior than a faulty or broken down elevator. In the wintertime, we see these rashes of breaking down, the boilers breaking down, heat and hot water problems. These are all real issues that you're facing, and it's only going to take the city, the state, and the federal government working together to get the dollars that we can use to fix this. Now, it's simple and it's easy to say we have a problem, I'm going to fix it. The hard part is where you're going to get the money. Yeah. You know, so my proposal is that Trump gave the Department of Homeland Security $170 billion, right? 75 billion of which went to ICE for new ICE agents and beds, detention centers. That money has to be clawed back, has to be brought back to where it should be, which is Medicaid, SNAP, which is food stamps, and yes, housing. And that for me, that means NYCHA. My priority in housing for the district is NYCHA because we have one of the biggest housing stock in the NYCHA complex across the city is right here in Congressional District 13, both in East Harlem and Harlem, some in Northern Manhattan and Dyckman Street, and in Marble Hill, in the Marble Hill Bronx part of the district, or the West Manhattan. What is it, Tony? Is it Manhattan or the Bronx? Oh, okay. It depends on who you're talking to. All right. So we want to make sure that we bring this to Washington, to these issues that I brought before, but that the money is there. And the money could be gotten in the majority when we take the majority this coming year, and then we're able in appropriations in the committee that I sit in. There's a committee called THUD, Transportation and Housing, right? I sit on that subcommittee, and that's where we make the argument to bring the dollars back for what? Medicaid, SNAP, which is food stamps, and of course, housing. So it's not enough to say we got a problem. Of course you got to say that, but you also have to come back and say how you're going to solve that problem, where you're going to get the money, right? And we know that there's like an $80 billion backlog for NYCHA capital needs. That's a lot of money, but we got to start somewhere, right? I remember when we did Marble Hill, when we federalized Marble Hill, because Marble Hill was not part of the federal program, we did roof work and pointing, right, Tony? Remember that? The envelope of the building, right?
We talked about it, but there's time to do the work now.
Yeah, and so when we did that, it's some time ago, right? When we did that, you saw the conditions inside the apartment turn better because there was no leaks, there was no molds, and now then you could really patch up a kitchen and not see it go back to the conditions that it was in, you know, a year before. So we need to get those capital dollars to make sure that we're able to address these problems. But I want really to take this opportunity first to hear from both the council member and the assembly member, and then to hear from you, the questions that you have, the complaints that you may have, the concerns that you may want to bring to the table. Councilman.
Sure. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I got a chance to meet a lot of you. I'm Councilmember Eric Dinowitz from the Bronx.
Don't be scared.
Oh, I'm not scared.
He paid his toll when he crossed over here.
Actually, I didn't. We get it free in the Bronx. Well, I'm a city council member in the Bronx, and it is a really tough time in our city. I don't think a lot of people dispute that. It is getting more and more expensive, and we just want like a little fairness. You know, we want it to be treated with dignity, to be able to live in the city where we are retiring or we are raising our newborn babies, beautiful newborn babies. And what we need is people in government who could work together to get the job done. And that's my friend, Congressman Espaillat. And, you know, I think about going to the doctor. You guys ever been to the doctor? No one here's been to the doctor? Sometimes, you've been to the doctor. Good job. All right, stay healthy, everyone. Like, I imagine, I think, huh?
The doctors help kill you.
Well, not my doctor. Find a new doctor. I think about politics nowadays, and it's like almost going to a bad doctor. Like you go to a doctor, and they're like, because you're sick, and the doctor says, "Gosh, you're sick. You need to get healthy." I don't want to hear that from a doctor. I want a doctor who knows what the heck they're doing. I want a doctor who can not only diagnose a problem, but come up with solutions. Right? And that's what I want in my congressman. I want a congressman who understands Marble Hill houses and understands and has been there for the pointing. I want a man who understands what good background music sounds like. And it's that. I want a congressman who not only says, well, we need workforce development and we need investment in our community, but a guy who brings $200 million to the Kingsbridge Armory. I want a congressman who goes into each of our buildings and understands the problems and has the ability to bring those dollars to your building so you can live with that dignity and affordability that you all deserve. And that is why I'm so proud that I get to work with Congressman Espaillat, someone who I've put my faith in as a congressman, someone who I know goes down to Washington to take care of each and every one of us, who understands each and every corner of his district, who understands each and every one of the lives that we lead, understands our need, and not just gets it, but gets to work on it. And that's what we've relied on him to do as a congressman and as a state senator and as an assemblyman, someone from our neighborhood who gets it. And when you're from our neighborhood and you understand it, it means you know what you're fighting for. He's fighting for all of us. And he's been extremely successful in doing that. And so again, I just want to take this opportunity publicly in front of all of you to thank you, Congressman, for being an incredible partner in government on behalf of everyone here and all the constituents that we serve in New York City.
Reverend Al.
I'm glad I went before the Reverend and not after.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Wait. So there's this old word, and it says, "This is a day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice." And what it says, when you break it in, it just says, "I woke you up this morning. I will provide everything that you're going to need." It doesn't mean you're not going to have problems, but I got you. Look at your neighbor and say, "I got you." So the reason I'm here, and I see President Serena down on the end polo grounds, and I am aware, I don't know, Stacy's involved with it, and we just left the DA over at the funeral for Keith Wright, so we couldn't talk to him. But work is being taken care of. The congressman's office is engaged as well. That's for the tragedy that happened in the Polo Ground housing. But what I'm here today is, it's like, we family. Let's say we family, because I lived in Dykeman housing, right? And there was a time when, before you could get into housing, they visited where you lived before they let you in. And then if you couldn't maintain your property and the people in it, they put you out. With no hesitation. But of course, money and all these other issues, they started to trimline everything, and then everybody talked to you from 250 Broadway, but you used to be able to go downstairs and talk to your managing agent, and they understood your situation, your circumstances, and didn't take you to court. But back then, your service needs were being met. HUD has left NYCHA over 40 years ago, easily. And they've done the same thing to the Mitchell-Lamas, easily. So there are dire needs. We need more money. And when people talk to me in Albany, NYCHA is a federal. We provide some funds, but there's no way we have the ability to do what the city can do to meet your needs. But it doesn't mean we don't fight for it. And I love a good fight. I love to go toe to toe. And sometimes this guy, this congressman, he and I don't know, but and then we say, well, what are we gonna do? Because we can't leave the room without figuring out how to meet the needs of our constituents. Y'all hear that? So you got residents that you work with, right? And y'all know about them. And some of them are redeemable, and some of them we have to keep praying for. But we don't leave the table, because what you do for one, you do for each one of them. Even if they don't appreciate it. Now, I'm here because my congressman and I have worked well together. I've known this man since 1991, right? At least when I was working as a legislative aide for Denny, and you didn't have a federal job, you worked for the city agency, and I used to see him come by, and I think he was part of the 34th Precinct Council. But I remember him every day. He was going to work, and then he just slowly do this, slowly do that. But the idea that I want to say here, it is important. Look at you. Look at each one. Look to your left and look to your right. You are each other's neighbor. What you allow them to do to you, they'll do to someone else. We stand in the gap of people that could care less but want more. And our job is to deliver. I'm standing here next to my congressman because he delivers. We got to get up and turn out in NYCHA like never before. This is our Obama moment. Listen what I'm saying. Because you don't have to direct anybody to do anything. Right now, the federal government has cut everything but cheese. And it's impacting us. They'd rather build bombs and spend money out there than to take care of the needs of the people here. They're out in the front on the nation trying to bring peace and resolution, and they don't even have it here. We demand more, we're entitled to more, and we're going to get more by sending him back to Washington. Does that make sense? Yeah. No, don't shake if you don't mean it. Here's the thing that we do in church. You don't say amen unless you mean it. Can I get an amen?
Amen. William Allen, that amen came late. Now, right? Let's hear from